everyone, thank you for joining me in this video. Today I'm going to speak about how you can speed up or accelerate your soul family reunions. And I made other videos about soul family that go very in depth about the different kinds of soul families that exist. So in this one, it's going to be I'm gonna try and keep it relatively short and give you the most basic points. But I've made other videos on the different subjects that I'm speaking about, so I'll try and link them up here as and when I'm speaking about certain things. But there's different kinds of soul family that exist, and I've made an in-depth videos about this. So check them out over here. I'll link them. And so what can you do if you want to experience the soul family reunion in the physical, especially? And these are members of your soul family. There are primary soul family and a secondary soul family, especially because secondary soul family members tend to show up first, and then as we get more and more core within that, usually we're interacting with secondary soul family members, and they sort of trigger something within us. New things inside of us, new parts of us are revealed, and that takes us even deeper in. And then primary soul family starts to come through because we have aligned with an even deeper part of us. So how can you basically accelerate this process? Even what happens when this is about to happen in your life? How do you know? What are some signs? This video is not really about signs so much. I'm going to tell you how you can, what is happening, what occurs, what is the vibration that lands in order for all of this to happen. So what are the key features of it, and you can tell then if you are experiencing this or not. And the points that I mentioned, you can let's say more consciously bring them into your life if it's something that you're not currently doing. So if you want to watch this video, then keep watching and subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed as well. And check out below this video. I have some links to work with me personally to accelerate basically your ascension, the beloved union with our soul family, all of that. I have even 2 courses that are there that address this and go much more in depth than I can in these videos, because we do exercises, we do meditations, and along with information, so there's like the whole thing is there. So there's 2 courses. I'll just name them quickly. The first one is called Manifest Soulmate Relationships, which addresses this one thing directly, just relationships through the manifesting perspective, through working with the body. That course is not so focused on light meditations. It's more in the body, the working with the heart, working through essences, feeling in the body. So if you're that type of a person and you like to take it slow, and it's not just about like doing meditations for a really long time, so then choose that one. And there's practical exercises anyway in all of my courses. And then the other one is called Embody the 5th Dimensional Vibration, which includes many different aspects, some of which I'll be mentioning in this video. And what else? And of course, there's it also speaks about union with your soul family. There's even a meditation to call in the soul family to align with that vibration. And all of these points that I'm speaking about in this video, there's chapters to address that and embody all of those things within that course. Because you see, divine relationships, conscious relationships, soulmate relationships, soul family reunions, twin flame reunions, all of these things only begin after we embody our 5th dimensional vibration. So that has to happen first. We have to open up and we have to choose the 5th dimensional vibration first, and we have to live it in our everyday reality. So you can say that some of the things I'm even mentioning in this video today relate to what is the 5th dimensional vibration, what happens when you step into it, or what is it that you need to choose first, because we always need to choose first. It's not as if these things will automatically start happening in your life if you're not doing anything and just through listening to a video. You have to then apply that wisdom and apply it in your life, that knowing that has landed within you. So okay, so what can you do to accelerate your soul family reunion? And the very first thing, I guess I can say, this is not in any particular order, but you have to be willing to serve. So it's the service vibration that lands in your body. Any type of union in relationships that we deeply desire, soulmate type reunions, They come when we have first aligned with our own soul, and we know our soul at a deeper level. This is not just feeling, I don't know, like you're into spirituality and you're doing these more spiritual things. That's not what the union with the soul is. I mean, it's the beginning of it, but it's not the whole thing. The landing of the soul in the body has to do with much more. It has to do with knowing those finer qualities, those essences, soul qualities that we have as a unique soul within creation. So of course, all souls on the planet that are going through ascension or are entering divine love will be serving divine love. So that is a generalized thing, but you are a unique being as well. So you have a very particular way that you serve love. So what is that? And we go more and more core into that. There's different layers to it. So that is how people want to experience, relationships and the best relationships of their life, but they're not willing to do this work of going within themselves and reuniting with those different parts of you. That is how you land the most intimate relationships, is the more intimate you are willing to go within, you see. And of course, then when we align with those different parts of us, those different levels of us, those relate to different levels of service as well. So our service within divine love starts to open up when we have surrendered and we have basically made our body vehicle. We've said that, spirit, I'm open. I'm not attached to anything in my life, whether they are relationships, whether it's life and death itself, to be honest. Whether it's those physical things that are attached to my security, I'm willing. I know that I belong to something greater, and that thing takes care of me. And so I can always trust that if I'm asked to let go of something, or something is leaving, I don't control any longer. I let it go. I flow within trust. So and show me, like inspire me with what is my inspiration in the now, what is my service in the now, what is that action today that is for the highest, my own highest good and the highest good of all. So when you're really open at a body level, at a cellular level to this, daily you will have inspirations, and your life won't be as regimented as before in the same way. You can still have order, and that order starts to come a little bit later as well. So first, usually it's the more feminine side of us that opens up. The divine feminine opens up first, leading the way to the masculine to come in, which is masculine is more related to order and stuff. But first we have to let go and surrender and just flow, relax, allowing that relaxation, allowing us to feel secure in the physical body, to land in that deep sensuality of the body and know that I am protected. I'm here on Mother Earth. Mother Earth, there's something larger that serves me. This planet has a consciousness. I am protected by it. There's even a higher order that exists, even higher than that, within which even Mother Earth exists. So we start to first just experience these and flow with that, release anything that is not aligned with that greater flow, whichever level we are resonating with. That is how service begins to land. We first let go and we say, I'm empty, I'm open, and then we allow daily inspiration to happen. And through that, then gradually our purpose starts to reveal itself to us. But in the beginning, it's very useful to know that your purpose is not one thing that you think, or what am I going to be when I grow up type of a scenario. It's your purpose is whatever you are feeling now, whatever inspires you now, whatever you're passionate about now. So when you live like that every day, you will see that there's a thread, there's a theme or something, or there's certain qualities, soul qualities that start to open up. And gradually when you just allow, without controlling, without trying to peg something too early, you just allow that blossoming like a flower. You don't touch it before it fully blossoms, otherwise it breaks. So when you have that patience and that relaxation, that more feminine energy, then that consistency starts to show itself, which is the masculine, that's always stable, always there, and your purpose will come through. It'll be that one exact thing, you will land in the center of it. So that is how service starts to land. You have to be open to it, which means you have to be willing to let go of any ego identification that is required of you. That is what a true servant does. So sorry if this is getting very in-depth, but this is really, if you really want a true soulmate reunion, soul family reunion, this is how it lands. You have to be open to service. You have to live like that. So this is how we start to serve divine love. The second point is co-creation with others, and this is again related to our service. So when we are inspired in the everyday, this authentic expression starts to flow through us. Like, what is my true expression in the world? What is my truth? What is my expression? And through that, our creativity starts to open up and flow. And then we will express ourselves, whether it's through our Instagram posts, whether it's through cooking and doing those more sensual things, because sensuality opens up. So another part of soul family reunions, because this is the this gateway opens up when we are moving into unconditional love first. So soul family reunions can start to happen a little bit before we move into divine love fully. And we'll start meeting secondary soul family members, primary soul family members that serve our purpose as well. They somehow will be reflecting to us what our purpose is, and also will be triggering the most core parts of us, shadows that we didn't even know existed. You might have thought you're a certain person, and you are never jealous, or you are never this or that, and then these people come up and they inspire you also. They show you, they mirror to you what you are at a soul level. At the same time, how they interact with you will bring up some emotions that you perhaps did not even know existed. And as we know, emotions, like when we go deeper into that, it just basically shows us a part of us, a gift, a soul gift that was hidden, and we reclaim it. And again, that takes us even deeper into our mastery. So this is how soul family reunions serve us. So relationships do serve us to come into ourself. So then co-creation basically is the union, is the coming. Okay, so the first thing co-creation is you, and that pure creativity that you create with life itself. So for example, you will be using resources that are natural, that don't harm the earth, because the higher heart, when it starts to open up, we open up to the natural order of life, and then we have to respect it. We respect that order because we know we belong to it. We don't just abuse it anymore. And that's why usually enlightenment is related in the beginning. The early stages are related to a lot of shedding and not associating with accumulating lots of material things. Usually that's how it goes, is because you will have like few things, but they will be quality. They will be that thing that you need most. So you're not using up too many resources of the earth, but you're using natural things, and you're like sucking their nectar, the core essence, what their highest value is. For example, people who just randomly pick flowers, and so many of them, and then they just die because they're picked like within a few hours or whatever. That is perhaps like a higher way of using flowers. I'm not saying that that's completely redundant and nobody should ever do that, but I'm saying, like, for example, somebody who goes deeper might work with flower essences, and that way there's like medicines in plants. So it takes that purpose of that plant, what it has done. It has been birthed, it grew and it evolved, and it's serving the life of that plant or that flower, using it for something that is healing people, let's say, and also with beauty and all of that. Like we use for fragrance and bringing in that sensuality, which is what flowers and plants also do. They land us like just through their aura within that sensuality. So you will be using things in a way that honor life, because you honor now yourself fully. So then we also start to get creative, because that sensuality, inner sensuality, starts to bloom rather than those emotions and up and down and hormones. Like we land more in the center and essences, and when that happens, our creativity blossoms too. So this is the stage of unconditional love. It's also the soft pink ray, the light pink ray or rose pink ray, as well as the turquoise ray relate to this. So if you want to call on that light or wear those type of crystals, that can help you too. But that is first of all co-creation with the planet. In that co-creation, the word itself means that it is for the highest good of all and your own highest good, and two things come together to create something even higher than themselves, better, something that serves more than just these two. So first, that will be you and the planet, you and life. And then when you start living in that, you're creating within that sensuality and that creativity, your original soul creativity. when you start expressing yourself, you find your authentic expression, then relationships show up too, because you've put yourself out there. And it's not only about just randomly on Facebook or Instagram putting stuff out there when you haven't properly anchored it within, but you know, it's kind of like you're putting out a soul essence, a vibration that you have landed in there. Just like I was explaining flower essences, like to get the essential oil, you have to go to the very core, extract that nectar, that very core, and then that is so potent. You see, one drop, you mix it in like so much oil, and it makes like a whole perfume. So that is what you go in and you find that nectar, and then anything you create with it, even one drop, it'll attract, magnetize to it in the physical, much more than you can imagine. And even if it's not more in quantity, let's say it's only one relationship or very few, it'll be quality, it'll be that exact thing that matches here. So that is what co-creation is all about. And then, you know, we start meeting these people and we start creating with them. Let's say they give us support in a way that we haven't received before. They see our soul essence, the soul part of us as well, and that finds some validation that, let's say, we haven't found in people who are just choosing the third dimensional life. Still, there's nothing wrong with them, but you know, they're just only choosing that, so they only see that perspective. If they were seeing a higher perspective, then they would be aligned with this, they would be on the ascension timeline. So it's very fulfilling when, you know, we can get that, when we can play with somebody else within that vibration of knowing that everything is neutral. Nothing has to be that black and white, that up and down, that positive and negative. So then, of course, you can imagine those two people like that come together. They will obviously create art, and you know, it's not even about even physically creating things, just the energy that they create when they're together, what they are reverberating in the environment will be uplifted, because more people, when they come together, they create something of a higher nature than they can just do themselves. Like it adds momentum, you can say. So that is what happens. Co-creation starts to happen. So you can invite in more co-creation in your life, however it feels right to co-create with the planet, in a way that is pure, in a way that serves and honors all of life. So that's the second point. The first point was service, just to remind you to land the service vibration, be fully open, surrender, and inspired action. Then the third point, how do you accelerate soul family reunions? Well, you have to master relationships. So relationship balance comes in. So again, you know, it's about, this is again going back to what I've been saying. You start seeing everything as love. You start holding that space of neutrality and non-judgment, and just holding an open space for everything that you see. Even if you see what somebody's doing is of a lower nature, it doesn't really serve them, it's harming them, but maybe that's what they need for now. So you can create that space where you just hold space for them without judging. And there's even this knowing that occurs that sometimes people need to go through a certain process in order to come into their path, just like you have. I'm sure you have also made so-called mistakes, and they led to a lot of wisdom for you. So having the discernment to do that, and also knowing that, you know, at this level we know that we are not just these physical beings, we are consciousness. So what we are reverberating here, that is having an effect on our environment. So people, when we can hold space for people, they feel it at a deeper level. So that in itself causes a lot of transformation, that holds space for the empowerment of others. So divine love, of course, like I've spoken in many videos before on this channel, I'll link one up here if I, whichever one feels right. So divine love is the combination of unconditional love, which is accepting, seeing the inner child play out in others, seeing that everything is pure about them. Behind anything that anybody's doing is a pure desire that is there, is love. All they want is love, no matter what they're doing. And you accept them for that. I'm not saying you take any kind of crap from anyone, but at least there's a space of non-judgment and holding space. It's holding unconditional love, like a parent would do for their child, Doesn't mean that they just let their child do anything or just say yes, yes, yes to everything, but they see the love playing out behind that, the purity. and they hold that space open for that child of love. So that is the first thing about divine love. The other thing is empowerment, is truth. So divine love is actually a combination of love and truth. Truth is empowerment, truth is discernment, and this is what most people sort of don't enter fully, which is why they are still within that higher fourth dimensional vibration. They are desiring purity, they're working within purity, they're even feeling sensuality, but what they deeply desire is that empowerment to really fully move into the higher heart, into divine love. Then what you need to do is you need to choose truth, and you need to know what your truth is. You need to be able to act it out in the world as well, and this will trigger people, believe me, but you need to do it. So divine love is the ability to be able to be firm within that truth, and when you're acting out, to do it in a soft manner, to convey your things in a soft manner, the combination of both. So within love for everybody else, but still always aligned with truth and functioning within that. So we master relationships this way. This is how we choose any relationship. This is how we voice our opinions in any relationships. If we feel that something is crossing our boundaries, having healthy boundaries, along with not judging. So seeing the higher potential in the other as well. So first is seeing the inner child, which is unconditional love, and empowerment is about seeing that they also have a higher self. I am not responsible for taking care of them, in a dysfunctional way. Everybody actually has a higher self. They are as empowered as me if they want to be, if they choose to be. So while I hold the space for them to be a child, to be pure, and I see the love behind any dysfunction that is playing out within them, I also know when it is right to hold space for them to find stuff themselves, to be on their own, to not be codependent on me. For them to be alone for a bit as well, and to be able to dig in and find what the answer is, even if they don't like the way I'm behaving in that moment, they don't agree with my choice, or they feel that it's harsh or something. But you're not doing it within harshness, you're doing it within this firmness of knowing what truth is and being able to convey it in a softer manner, or in a loving manner. So that is what mastering relationship balance is. When you start living like that, and you honor every relationship that comes your way as the beloved. And believe me, this is not easy. This is going to be some of the most challenging thing that you will go through. But at the same time, each time in that moment when you're able to see within play that this is also life, and it's no big deal, then you can live in that state of joy. And you realize that, while it's not easy, at the same time it doesn't have to be hard as well. Okay, so those are my 3 points for you. So wherever you feel that you are not doing enough of whatever I have said, you can bring in more of that into your life, and I'll repeat what those 3 points are. But I want you to know that the courses that I made, especially the 5th dimensional course, the EMBODY or 5th dimensional vibration, it goes very deeply into each and every aspect of this, and really brings it into the body, knowing what our truth is, knowing what is inspired action, bringing that about in our life. How do we do that? It has exercises for all of this. Discerning our truth in relationships, knowing how to hold unconditional love for others, co-creating with the planet, serving with the planet, being a pillar of light. There's meditations, there's even practical exercises, all of that in that course, to do that, to do exactly this, to bring you into the 5th dimensional embodiment, which is what brings about soul family reunions, and you won't even be able to stop them. So to end this video, let me repeat the 3 points, just the points. Number 1, to accelerate soul family reunions, embrace your service beyond self, service to divine love. Embrace co-creating within purity with the planet and with others as well. Master your relationships, master relationship balance, being neutral, seeing everything as neutral, and the perfect balance of unconditional love and empowerment. So love and truth, the middle point of that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if it was helpful. And yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you got some wisdom today. And bye, I'll see you in my next video.